Over the past 15 years, a business owner has made at most $4,000 in profits each week. Which graph represents the business owner's possible profits each week? So we need the graph. So remember, when you graph the solutions to inequality, it shows you the possible solution. So what could be the possible amounts for the profit? So right here we get that information. It says the owner has made at most $4,000 in profit. So that part right there is going to help us come up with the inequality for this question. So at most means at the highest. So at the highest amount has to be $4,000. So if I make my inequality, I'm going to use P for profit, or I'll just write the word out. The profits are at most $4,000. So that means it has to be less than, we have to ask ourselves, is 4,000 included in the solution? It says at most, so yes it is. So I'm going to put an equal to line there, and then I'm going to put 4,000 as the most. Look at this, 4,000 is the most, because we have it greater than. It says 4,000 is greater than or equal to, because we have that equal to line. Remember, this is equal to, that means 4,000 is included in the solution. So since 4,000 is included in the solution, we want to include the shading inside of the circle. Included in the solution. How do we know it's included? Because it says the profits are less than or equal to. So some possible solutions that's at most 4,000, it could be 1,000. It could be $5. It could be 4,000 because 4,000 is a solution. It could be $25 to $500. So these are some possible solutions for the profits, as long as you do not go over $4,000. So at most, the most is 4,000. So you can say $4,000 is the most, and since it's included, you want to put an equal to line. So you can write it two different ways. 4,000 is greater than or equal to the profits, or the profits is less than or equal to 4,000. And as I said, 4,000 is included in the solution, so we want to include the shading. Since the profits, the values that we're going to substitute in for the profits are less than, because it says the profits are less than, we need a ray to go to the left. The ray definitely needs to go to the left, so we're going to pick closed circle on 4,000, ray going to the left. And that's our answer for that one. All right, let's go to the next one, number 2. It says, look at the inequality. The sum of 12 and 6 times x must be greater, as the inequality, not a plus sign, greater than 99. Okay, so in 6th grade, we're not supposed to know how to solve two-step equations. So we actually will have to substitute the value in for the variable to see if it makes the inequality true. If it does, we pick true. If not, we pick false. Now, you can use the order operations backwards to solve for the variable, but you have to remember, whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to take the opposite of your inequality. So the best method is to use here is to use substitution until you go to 7th grade and practice two-step equations with inequalities, because you have to know some rules. And if you don't understand the rules at the 6th grade level, you will mess up. All right, so let's look at this. So I'm going to write my formula. I'm going to first see if 0 is a solution. So I'm going to put x equals 0. And then I'm going to write my formula. 12 plus 6 times x is greater than 99. And then I'm going to go ahead and substitute 0 in for x. So 12 plus 6 times 0 is greater than 99. In the order operation, so I'm going to evaluate my left side. 6 times 0 is 0, and I add 12. Then I bring everything down. 12 plus 0 is 12. 12 is greater than 99. So this is a false inequality. So I'm going to pick false. 0 is not a solution. My inequality was not true. All right, so let's go ahead and do 13. So I need to multiply 6 times a number much higher than 0. So let's go to the next number, 13. I'm going to write my formula, or I'm going to put x equals 13 here. I'm going to write my formula, which is 12 plus 6 times x is greater than 99. And I'm going to substitute 13 in for x. So I'm going to put 12 plus 6 times 13. it has to be greater than 99. In the order operations, multiplication comes first. So I'm going to multiply 6 times 13, and that's going to give me 78. And then I'm going to add 12, and that's going to give me 90. Then I'm going to bring my inequality straight down, bring my 99 straight down, and see if this is true when x equals 13. So this is a false inequality. This is a false inequality because 90 is not greater than 99. That's false. So I'm going to put false here. And then I'm going to move on to my next is 14 and 5/10 a solution. I'm going to put that one over here. So I'm going to be substituting 14 and 5/10 in for x. So I'm going to put that first. I'm going to write my formula. Then I'm going to substitute 14 and 5. So 6 times 14 and 5/10. Instead of putting x, I put my substitution in the same operation formula. All right. Now I'm going to evaluate. The right side of my equal sign is already evaluated because I'll just have 99. So now I need to evaluate the left side. So I need to multiply 6 times 14 and 5/10 first, and that's going to give me 87. Then I'm going to bring down my plus 12, and 87 plus 12 is going to give me 99. And then I'm going to bring my inequality straight down, and I'm going to bring my 99 straight down, and I'm going to read it. Is 99 greater than 99? This is false. So because 99 is not greater than 99, it's actually equal to 99. So that's false as well. Now I want to see if 64 is a solution. So let's check with 64. I'll do that one in green because that's definitely going to be a solution. Because when you multiply 64 times 6, it's going to already be higher than 99. Because 64 2 times is higher than 99. So I know 64 times 6 is going to take us higher. But let's go ahead and prove it. So let's see, x is equal to 64 in this case. I'm going to go ahead and substitute. So my formula first, 12 plus 6 times x is greater than 99. So instead of putting my 6 times x, I'm going to put 6 times 64. So I'm going to substitute 12. So I still write my 12. Then I put my plus sign. Then I have 6 times, instead of 6 times x, I'm going to put 6 times 64. Then I'm going to bring my inequality, and then I put 99 on the right side of the inequality. Now I want to evaluate. 6 times 64 is 384. Then I'm going to add 12 to that. See, it's already greater than 99. And then I'm going to get 396. Then I bring my inequality straight down, bring my 99 straight down. 396 is greater than 99. That is true, which means that 64 is a solution. Now it says there is only one solution. Now, equations have one solution, but inequalities have many solutions, so I'm definitely going to pick false for that. The solutions, let's see what the solutions are. I'm going to tell you exactly what the solutions are. I have 12 plus 6 times x is greater than 99. So two-step equations, you have to use the order operations backwards. So I'm undoing the order operations. So the order operations forward is parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, addition and subtraction from left to right. So I want to get my variable x on one side of the inequality by itself. So I need to move the 6 and the 12. So I'm going to start here with, since I'm doing the order operations backwards, addition and subtraction from left to right. So I'm going to undo this positive 12. If I wanted to cancel out, I would take the 12 away. So I'm going to take 12 away from 99. And then that's going to give me 9 minus 2 is 7. And then 9 minus 1 is 8. And I'm going to bring everything down that I did not use. Now I need to get rid of the 6. So since 6 is connected to the x through multiplication, I need that to undo multiplying by 6. I need to divide by 6. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to divide both sides by 6. This is going to cancel out. And I have x is greater than 14 and 5/10. So my solutions, the solutions for this inequality are all numbers greater than 14 and 5/10, which is why 14 and 5/10 is not a solution, because the solutions must be greater than that. So since 64 is greater than 14 and 5/10, it is a solution. And since 0, 13, and 14 and 5/10 are not greater than 14 and 5/10, they are not solutions. So do not confuse that. Inequalities have many solutions. Equations only have one solution. Equalities, equal signs, one solution. All right, moving on to the next one. Researchers explore a part of the ocean floor that is 60 feet below sea level. This depth can be represented by the integer -60. On the second dive, researchers explore a deeper dive. So if you go deeper than -60, that means let's just draw. Let's think about it like this. So 0 is sea level. 0 is sea level. If a diver had the first depth was 60, remember depth is how deep, so you would use absolute value to describe the situation. So this is -60. So this is a depth of 60 because you went 60 feet deep. So if you're going deeper than that, that means you need a more negative number. So anything less than that is deeper than that. So anything going from here is 60 is not included in a solution because you have to go deeper than 60. So anything lower here is going to be a solution. All right, it says, write an inequality that represents the possible depths, D. You have to use D, and it has to be lowercase. If not, you will get this question mark wrong. D of the researcher's second dive. So it has to be deeper than 60, -60. So it has to have a greater depth. So the depth must be, which is the actual number that you would substitute in, that depth must be less than the actual value, the integer must be less than -60. 60 is not included in the solution, so we're not going to put the equal to line because it has to be deeper than that. And so when we put in D right here, we're talking about the actual integer and not the positive number, the depth, because we're talking about a negative situation. We use the absolute value, but we're talking about the actual number. All right, moving on to part B. On the number line below, graph the inequality that represents the possible depth of the researcher's dive. So we want an inequality for this. And remember, you can also put it as -60 is greater than D. So that's another way you could write it. But we have to put a open circle on 60 because 60 is not included in the solution. And then we have to go deeper than that. So we will draw our inequality going to the left. Remember, this is greater and this side is less. So if you're going to be deeper, this is obviously deeper, going lower, and this is higher, I guess. All right, let's go to the last one right here. The daily high temperature in a town in Alaska has been colder than -4 for 3 weeks. Charlotte graphs the possible temperature T over the 3 weeks period on the number line below. So she graphed the 3 weeks. So before I even look at what she graphed, because the question is asking, is she correct? I'm not going to look at what she did. I'm going to go over here to the side and figure out what would the graph look like. And then I'm going to compare what I would do to what she did, and then we'll go from there. So it says the temperature is colder. So colder means that it's going to be further left, colder. Remember, a hot temperature is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, right? That's really hot. So colder, it will obviously go in the other direction. So more negative, further left is going to be colder. So my temperature, you have to use the lowercase t. So I'm going to put my temperature, it has to be colder. So if it's colder, it's going to be lower than -4. If it says at most or at least, then you will have the equal to line, but this says colder. So -4 is not a possible solution. It has to be colder than that. So the temperature must be lower than -4. So any values like -3 is not a solution because -3 is not colder than -4. So what is colder than -4? -5, -6, -8.5, -10 3/4, or something along those lines. All of these values are values that's lower than -4. So we have our inequalities. How would you graph this? So you need the temperatures must be lower than, so you need a ray, you need a circle on -4, open or close. Definitely a open circle. We need an open circle because 4 is not included in solution. So because 4 is not included in the solution, so you remember you have an open circle. If it's included in the solution, it will have the equal to line, and if it's included in the solution, you will include the shading. So I already see that her graph is wrong because Charlotte has the wrong circle on -4. It's supposed to be an open circle on -4 because -4 is not equal to -4. It's not colder than itself. It is itself. All right, so that's the first stipulation. We also need a ray going to it says the temperatures are colder. So the ray should go to the left because the left is colder. All right. So, and it needs to be on, obviously, on 4. Open circle on 4, -4. All right, so we can see that Charlotte is incorrect. So let's go ahead and answer the question. An inequality that can represent the situation is the temperature must be less than -4. Because -4 is not included in the temperatures, the graph should show an open circle at -4. The temperatures are less than -4, so the arrow will point to the left from -4. Therefore, Charlotte's graph does not correctly represent the possible temperatures over the 3-week period. So you have to make sure you read the entire question.